Yesterday was January 13th, 2016. Yesterday at 5 a.m., a house fire started in a small house in Rock Falls, Illinois. When firefighters arrived at the house, they found the deceased bodies of 5 family members. When I woke up yesterday morning, I saw the news, and of course I was sad that a tragedy happened. And I read the names of the deceased victims. It was Patrick, Mary, Margaret, Katie Jo, and Donovan. And I didn't know them, but they were people that were here, and then they were gone. So I went to work that day, and one of my coworkers had told me that Margaret had died, and I didn't believe him. She told me when she first started that people called her Maggie, and all of her family members called her Maggie, but her real name was Margaret, and I didn't know that when I read it in the newspaper. And she told me she was 26, and it said 26. I didn't know her last name, but it was Hopkins. So I didn't believe it, but it was true. And I thought about it, and I had just seen Margaret the night before at around 7 o'clock, and nobody knew that when she got off work that night, she went home, that she wouldn't be coming back. And she died in that house with all of her family members. It's never really been put in perspective of how people are here one day and gone the next until you see them. And when you say goodbye to them, you really don't know that it's the last time you're going to see them alive until this happens. And you get that feeling of, if I had a time machine, I would go back and I would stop her from going home. And I would tell her to tell her family members to not go home. But she don't know that until it happens. I'm going to make an in memoriam for Margaret. I have a mason jar here, and I bought fake flowers. I think that Margaret would like this bouquet. I'm going to make an in memoriam jar for her, and I'm going to take it to the house, and there's a lot of other signs and cards over there. Margaret was a really shy kind of girl, and she always sat in the break room all by herself, reading her tablet. She loved to read. She was always reading. And I've talked to her a couple times, and I've gotten to know her a little bit. But she didn't really talk a lot to people, although she was nice to everyone, of course. So it's just kind of sad that someone that good in the world, was taken away. And I just don't believe that this was supposed to happen. It shouldn't have happened. I don't believe that